Hello, friend. If you clicked on this video, you are no doubt going through a hard time. Either you're experiencing profound sadness, loneliness, emptiness, hollow. You feel like life's a struggle. You're feeling existential, wondering, what's the point of it all? What am I even doing here? Nothing makes sense. You're living in apathy and depression and just basically feeling lost, confused, and empty, and you don't know where to go or what to do at this point. And I'm not going to pretend to know exactly what you're going through. How can I? I'm not in your head. But I do know a thing or two about dark times and hardship and being in a very bad place mentally, as I have been there before, time and time before in the past. It almost feels like I'm a professional at getting out of toxic and negative headspaces and dealing with sadness, depression, loneliness, emptiness, existentialism. But that's not me anymore. I am on the other end. I'm a happy person now. These days, I typically live in joy, gratitude, peace, and that doesn't mean I don't have my problems. I don't have my bad days. I have them just like everybody else, but it doesn't get me down and it doesn't discourage me from playing this game of life and just enjoying the ride while I'm here. And if you're watching this video, I'm just going to share a few things with you to help you get back on track because I think everybody wants to be happy and at peace. And it's shitty to be stuck in those negative vibrations for longer than you need to be. So, without even knowing exactly what you're going through, there's two things, actually, probably like a handful of things. I'm making this up as I go along. Bear with me. So, the first thing I would say to anybody who's in a dark place, acknowledge the emotion. Of course, accept it. I'm not going to say, no, you shouldn't feel the way you're feeling. We're not here to invalidate anybody's feelings or emotions. But what I would challenge you to think about is, what if your emotions are lying to you? And what if they are fake? A lot of people get lost in their emotions. They feel an emotional state and they really genuinely think that is who they are. But that's because they don't know who they truly are down to their core. And here's the thing, guys, emotions can lie to you. Now, let me give you a rudimentary example. First of all, let's just say you don't exercise, you don't meditate, you eat a bunch of shitty junk food, excessive amounts of sugar, drugs, alcohol, all that stuff messes with you mentally. And let's say I just binge eat McDonald's and like a shit ton of ice cream and a ton of sugar. And then 3 hours later, I'm irritable. I'm feeling like depressed. I'm feeling moody. I'm feeling angry. That doesn't make me an angry person. And even though I'm living in that emotional state and everything feels very real to me, I have a filter on my life. I have the irritability filter. Everything bothers me. I have the anxious filter, the depressed filter. Everything seems depressing. I don't have the motivation. I feel like dog shit. But let me ask you a question. Like that emotional state, even though it was real and I really felt that, was it really real if it was induced from food? And a lot of people don't think about emotions this way. Sometimes emotions come from past traumas, preconditioned patterns of behavior, lack of core values, not living up to your core values, core belief systems, and just programming that you developed as a child. And sometimes it is something like diet and nutrition, just not taking care of yourself, that impacts your emotional state. And it's really quite fascinating because so many things can actually influence your emotions. And sometimes things should influence your emotions. You have a breakup that hurts. It's supposed to hurt. It's supposed to be painful. You were invested. But also acknowledge that that doesn't belittle you as a person. That doesn't make you worthless or invaluable. The first step is to just accept where you're at right now, accept the struggle you're going through, be mindful of it, and then ask yourself the deeper questions like, why am I feeling these emotions? What is at the root cause? Is it my core values? Is it my core beliefs? A good starting place for everybody if you wrestle with your mental health. I'm not going to break down a ton of science here and give you like a ton of different things to do, but if you're struggling, there's two things you need to do almost every day. The first one is you got to exercise. It can be something simple like going out for a walk for 20, 30 minutes, but you got to move your body. Moving your body gets the blood flowing, helps build dopamine for your brain. Our bodies were meant to be used. If you don't use your body, you will literally lose your body. And that is the single best antidepressant out there, is actually just getting active, using your body, being physical, getting some sunlight, some vitamin D, just a little daily workout. It doesn't have to be anything intense. It can be wherever you're at. Like I work out in the gym 2-3 hours every morning, but you don't have to be there starting out. You can just go for a walk, get in the gym, but there's no way around it. You've got to actually use your body, especially if you wrestle with this kind of stuff. And then the second thing you need to do is you got to meditate. Find some meditation that works for you, whether it's just sitting in silence for 5-10 minutes, doing a 15-minute guided meditation. I like to do 20-25 minutes of DMT, Wim Hof style breath work. And why meditation is so good, especially in this day and age, is because there's so much stimulus everywhere. So many people telling you what to do. So many people telling you how to live your life. So many people telling you how to manage your emotions. Do this thing, do that thing, do this thing, do that thing. Meditation turns that volume down. And like I said before, like when emotions come from past traumas, limiting beliefs, core values that we've never addressed or never even took the time to build, because our whole life we've been looking at a screen. So all of our beliefs and our thought systems are just what the external world gave us. And we never had a time to actually sit by ourselves and think, what do I want to believe in? What do I want to be? Who do I want to be? What kind of life do I want to live? Do I want to stay living thinking that life is suffering and misery? Or do I want to actually live in peace, joy, abundance, love, connect, enjoy the ride while I'm here, enjoy just being a human being and living this game we play? And the only way you can actually start unpacking and debunking that stuff is by pausing, turning down the volume, breathing, and you got to make a practice out of it. You got to do 15-20 minutes a day. I meditate and work out at least 5 times a week, 2 days off. You might not be there starting off. Building habits is hard, so be gentle with yourself. But if you wrestle mentally, those are the 2 biggest things you need to be doing to get back on track, because a lot of things happen when you meditate. Your unprocessed traumas get processed. You start to unpack the pain of your past. You start to question your belief systems and your core beliefs. Is this way of thinking serving me? And the way you think impacts the reality you see. Someone who's stuck in depression and apathy and feeling like life is pointless, like there's no point, what's the point? That's the reality you live in. That's the reality you feel. And that's the reality you believe in it. But once you start to believe in it, that is the only reality you will ever see. Because our brains, you can look it up too, it's called the reticular activation system. Our brains are literally hardwired to look for evidence out in the world that reinforces our core values and belief systems about ourselves, about the world. So someone who thinks that the world is all pain and suffering, they will only see pain and suffering in the world. Someone who believes that all men or all girls are cheaters will only see the people who cheat in the world, but won't actually see, like their brain won't actually process like the good people, the people who don't cheat. And this applies to everything, even something as simple as like, hey, I want to buy this Jeep. Now all of a sudden I'm really into Jeeps. So now when I'm driving, I just notice Jeeps everywhere I go. But before that, it never even crossed my mind. So you quite literally manifest the reality that you believe in. So if you believe life is depression and struggle and pain, that's just where you're going to live. And that's where you're going to stay stuck forever, because that's the core belief that needs to change. And it can change. Neuroplasticity. The mind can rewire. But how does this happen? It happens when you meditate. It happens when you take time to sit, pause, journal, reflect. Who is the person you want to be? Where do you want to be? What belief systems do you want to cultivate? Like me personally, it's peace, love, joy, and just enjoying the ride. That's where I want to live. That's where I strive to stay. Doesn't mean I don't have a bad day. Doesn't mean tragedy doesn't happen to me. It doesn't mean pain doesn't happen to me as well. But it's a different filter. When I'm depressed and something painful happens, first of all, I see the world through the depression filter. The depression filter is, this is going to last forever. This is never going to end. I'm going to be stuck here. Life is pointless. But it's just a filter. It's like having a pair of sunglasses on. When I'm in the gratitude filter, I'm so grateful for every little thing. This little phone where I can make YouTube videos. I get to play Dead by Daylight. I had the whole day off from work today. I just finished my meal prep. I'm getting it done. I just did my laundry. I'm making a YouTube video. You see what I'm saying? So that is what people don't understand, is that people who are stuck in these negative emotions and vibrations have so much trouble visualizing and seeing themselves in another vibration. but you can get to the other vibration. You can get to the other side. You can get to the place of peace, love, and joy. You got to be gentle with yourself. You got to be patient. These things take time. Start meditating, start exercising. Take it day by day. Our brains are like computers. They are computers, but they're not like modern computers. Our brains are like Windows 98, 95 software, like to delete old programming and limiting beliefs that no longer serve you. And you need to ask yourself, what are the lies and the thoughts that keep recurring every single day that I keep telling myself that are keeping me stuck here? And you got to shut the door on those thoughts when they come in, and then reinforce the thought you want to have, or the good thought, or the thought that produces the outcome you want to have. For me, going to the gym is non-negotiable, whether I want to go or I don't want to go. Why? Because my core belief is if you don't move your body, you lose your body. I want to be healthy and functional until the day I die. So that's the reason why I work out almost every day. Same thing goes for meditation. I've lost this guy before. I've been in the darkness. I've been so uncomfortable with life and everything about life that I never want to let myself slip into that place again. So I take the time to meditate every day, to sit with myself, to unpack things, to let myself process emotions. Sometimes there's not even anything there to process, but I do it anyways because I want to be mentally fit, healthy, and sound for the whole duration of this life. I want to be physically fit, healthy, and sound for the whole duration of this life. And what you'll find is you slowly start to shift. Whenever the programming in your brain is changing, it's baby steps. You're going to have like a good day. Then you're going to have a bad day where you default to old programming. That's normal. Like I said, Windows 95 software. The important thing is that you keep showing up. You keep fighting that battle. You keep challenging those negative beliefs and toxic narratives you've been selling yourself for so long that are keeping you stuck and feeling bad vibrations. And trust me, you will slowly but surely move out of that. And then one day when you get to the other side where it's your headspace is clear, you're living in gratitude, abundance, peace, vibration, you get to this place to where even though you've had pain and even though you've had trauma and even though shitty things have happened to you, it doesn't bother you anymore. And you're actually grateful and you feel like you've lived an amazing life. Even if it hasn't been like your dream life, quote unquote, you just get to this place of peace to where it's like, I've lived an amazing, fulfilling life already. And I'm 34. And there's a ton I haven't done. I haven't gotten married yet. I haven't started a crazy 6-figure business or whatever society wants to do. But I've lived an amazing life. And if I died today, God forbid, I'd be okay with it because the way I feel about the world these days is that every day is a bonus. I've lived a life I've been happy to live, and I'm still young. I'm still healthy. I still get to play this game. And it's a beautiful feeling. And I have faith in myself. And I'm not going to dig too deep into religion here. Some people find this faith I talk about through religious outlets. But I'm just going to say find faith in whatever you can find faith in. Maybe it's faith in yourself, faith in the universe, faith in God, faith in Christ, faith in Odin. It really doesn't matter as long as it serves you. And if that belief serves you and lifts you up to a higher plane, then who am I to argue about that being a good belief for you? So be patient with yourself. Take it day by day. You can make it to the other side. And then there's one last thing I want to talk about. And that is as far as the programming goes. So, like I said, programming can change. When your belief systems change and actually start to change, your emotional states start to change. Your outlook on life starts to change. You start to go from this person who felt like life was pointless, life was meaningless, what's the point, to just a person who's just at peace and content with their life and the way the world is going for them. Because what you will realize is that you are enough. You've always been enough. Nothing will ever make you feel enough. There's nothing to do. There's nothing to acquire. You don't need anything to be worthy. Sure, have dreams, have ambitions, have things you want to do while you're here playing this game of life. Be creative, pursue things. But none of that is necessary for you to feel peace and joy and happiness and contentment in the moment. That, my friend, is your birthright. Society doesn't get to tell you what a good life means for you. The world doesn't get to tell you what a good life means for you. No textbook, no teacher, no social media outlet. The only person who can say and define what a good life is for you and what's a life worth living is you yourself. When you look in the mirror, when you breathe, when you journal, when you meditate, when you reflect and ask yourself, what are the standards for my life? Am I living up to them? What's a good life for me? For some people, it's actually making millions of dollars and living the wealthy life. For others, it's being dirt broke, but living out in Bali and just surfing every day. And that's all you want to do. And you're enjoying your life. Like, you are the creator and the storyteller, and you are the one who gets to decide what a good life is for you, and then live it, and then enjoy it, guys. Enjoy the time you have left. These days are a blessing. Why not be grateful? Why not be at peace? Why not love and connect for the short amount of time you have left here? Because in the grand scheme of things, 100 years isn't even that long a time, but you can still enjoy it. I hope this helps. Peace and love.